I think that Chelsea are undoubtedly one of the favourites to win the Premier League this season, and maybe go on to do something special in the Champions League while at the same time competing for a cup. That is the level that Chelsea is at right now. That is the level that Chelsea have put themselves in. Last season Chelsea were ruthless in the transfer market, as always. They knew what they wanted and they went out to get them. They had a very rocky start to the season, sacking Frank Lampard after 18 months at the club and getting Tuchelle. That move alone proved decisive, as Chelsea not only finished in the top 4, but they also went on to win the Champions League. As I said before, ruthless. This season I think that Chelsea will be even more impressive. Now with Champions League experience, the young core has gained much more needed experience. When you add in Romelu Lukaku, who scored 24 goals in Serie A last season, the future is looking bright for Chelsea. I want to start this preview by looking at Tuchelle, because he'll be the key to decide winning it all. Last season we saw how good Pep Guardiola was, and any manager going up against a Guardiola side must be both consistent and able to sail through any injuries. So Tuchelle, this man has proved himself immensely. Back in his time at PSG, Tuchelle wasn't really seen as a threat in terms of the great managers in Europe. He did make it to the Champions League final, but that is the minimum when you have the likes of Mbappe and Neymar in your team. I was a bit skeptical of what Tuchelle would be able to do with a Chelsea squad that was really struggling, but he proved himself and did an amazing job turning the Blues around and setting them up perfectly for this 2021-2022 season. Tuchelle came in and changed to a back three of Rudiger, Zuma and Azpilicueta. This is where it started. Tuchel's success can be traced back by how he was able to give Chelsea much needed defensive stability. By moving back to a back three, Tuchel also brought back the best out of Alonso. Do you guys remember Sarri's first season? The one where Alonso was the best wing back in the world? Tuchel brought back that Alonso by giving the team more defensive stability. Tuchel has also brought back a more fluid attack with more crosses coming in and interchanging movement. However, the problem for Chelsea was goals. Timo Werner struggled immensely last season, and if they want to win the league, Chelsea know that goal scoring is a must. I mean, it's football, you can only win by outscoring the other team. With the likes of Liverpool, City and United having much consistent and prolific scorers, Chelsea needed to make a move. That's exactly what they did. They went on and got one of the best strikers in Europe last season, in Lukaku. Chelsea obviously wanted Haaland, but so does everyone else, and when dealing with Dortmund, a club that will not settle for less than what they want, Chelsea dropped the ball and acted fast. With this move, Chelsea solved their goal scoring problems and a little bit more. This is because Lukaku is not just a goal scorer, he's much more than that. Whether in Everton, United, Juventus or Belgium, a big aspect of his game that is neglected is Lukaku's ability to stretch the pitch. He is big, but he's also fast. His strength goes without saying. With these physical attributes and with the experience that he has gained over the years, Lukaku can easily drag defenders off position, allowing tons of space for fast and creative players like Kai Havertz, Christian Pulisic, Mason Mount, Odoi, and even the wingbacks in Alonso and Reece James. This is all fantastic, tactics and goal scorings and whatnot, but I'm going to make the same question I made to Arteta in the Arsenal video. How thick is Tuchel's skin? I think Tuchel is able to handle a title race. He has won league titles before, but the pressure from clubs Liverpool and Guardiola's City is agonizing. I personally think that he'll be able to pull through. They will pull through because they have already addressed the main problem they had coming into the summer. Questions about endurance and mind games will answer themselves as the season develops. Now let's look at a few key players at Chelsea and see how these can either hinder or help Chelsea to win the title this season. The first man up is Kai Havertz. Havertz is not only as creative as they come, but he's also able to adapt into a variety of formations, which would prove essential if Chelsea are to go on and do what I said they could do at the beginning of the video, and someone who can make it happen as shown last season. Havertz is a very special talent, one for the future. I'd put him a tier just below Mbappe and Haaland in terms of potential Ballon d'Or winners. In the same tier I have Jadon Sancho, João Felix, Marcus Rashford and more. Drop a comment if you'd like to see a video on that. The question for Havertz, however, is, are you going to be creative and someone who can make things happen in times during the season, or are you going to do it consistently? Havertz has an abundance of potential. If Chelsea are going to win it this season, they'll need creativity like Havertz, especially in games against teams that sit in a low block. Against these teams, there won't be much movement. It'll come down to the finer details of the game, and Havertz has that type of skill set in his arsenal. The question is just whether he can do it week in and week out. The next player up is not really a player but a group, a part of the team, and that is the defense. How good would Chelsea's defense be? Was last season a fluke? I ask this because defense really wins you titles. Looking back at the last two Premier League winners, they were both at their best when they were defensively sound. Liverpool and City both won the league respectively, mainly because of their ability to sit tight and keep clean sheets. City lost in the season that Liverpool won because their defense was shaky. Laporte was out. Liverpool lost the title last season because their defense was shaky. Van Dijk was out. Will Chelsea's defense be shaky, or will they sit tight and keep clean sheet after clean sheet? And finally, I can't end this video without talking about the man that I think will be the difference maker, Romelu Lukaku. I don't have many questions for Lukaku, I just want to talk about how much potential there is in the team and how Lukaku takes that potential and turns it into a reality. As I have said many times in my videos now, a player cannot win a title by themselves. However, if Lukaku can score 20 goals this season, if he's able to keep up the same level of assists and creative play he's known to have, and if he's able to stretch the floor to allow Kai Havertz and Mason Mount to do their thing, then I think that it is a wrap for Chelsea offensively. It will be just a matter of he can stay healthy, if Mount and Havertz can stay consistent, and how good Liverpool, City and maybe United are. Chelsea have a real chance of winning the title this season, and they are 1 out of 3 teams that I can see winning the Premier League. Best case scenario for Chelsea, they win the league, Lukaku wins the Golden Boot and Havertz begins to get more respect as his numbers stay consistent and Chelsea's defense stays solid. What I think will happen? I think Chelsea will finish 3rd, they'll get into a title race with City and Liverpool, but ultimately I don't think that the other guys in the team will be able to stay consistent week in and week out, which will prompt them to lose some points against the top 6 and here and there with teams in the middle of the table. Worst case scenario, Chelsea don't win the league, they finish 4th behind United, not being able to get into a title race, get knocked out of the Champions League in a group stage and gain no cup glory. Thank you very much for watching the video until the end. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more game analysis, football history, individual performances, top 10s, etc. This is the beginning of something special and it would mean the world to me if you subscribed and helped me to grow this channel.